All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks again to NiftyKit for hosting today. So today we are chatting with a really fun community, the Chungos. And we have the founder with us here today. Um, can we call you by your name or are you just going to be Chief Chungo?
My community doesn't want to actually know my real name. Uh, I was gonna reveal my real name in LA, and everyone's like, "No, no, you can't. You're just Chief Chungo. You can't actually say what your real name is. So let's just keep it. You can call me Chief or just Chungos, whatever you like."
Perfect. I'm just going to call you Chief because I feel like referring to you as like Chungos, there's like just one of you. I mean, there's many of you, right? But I'm just talking to one to one today. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
so super excited to have you here today, and I cannot wait to get into it. But before we chat, just want to do a quick, a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, there is info on NiftyKit updates, ERC20 app, new payment options, and you can also create generative collections. You can check out Soulbound tokens, and we invite you, as always, to explore NiftyKit, gas-free minting, where no crypto wallets are needed. You can create 3D drops, additions, pay what you want minting, and also NiftyKit's very own custom generator that is free. So you can check that out. And we've also joined forces with CrossMint to make selling NFTs and digital art easier for users like you. Those details are all pinned up top. And lastly, as always, please visit NiftyKit's discovery page to discover new collections and niftykit.com to learn how you can use our tools to become a creator. And you can always hit me up if you have any questions. So this Twitter space goes for about an hour. And lastly, just a friendly reminder that we host spaces every week. So follow NiftyKit, put us on notifications so you don't miss out. So with that, we are speaking with Chief Chungo about their community and what is on the horizon with what they're building. And but before we dive in, you can all take a quick look up top at everything that is pinned above and follow along as we talk today. And Chief, please feel free to pin anything additional that you want as well. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Firstly, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We're getting ready for the new mint. We're still just we're in crunch mode right now, getting everything ready. We're animating at the same time. We're finishing the art for the new collection. We're collaborating with a really dope artist. We haven't announced it yet, but really excited. The future is looking bright for the Chungos.
That's amazing. I love the little hint because we're definitely going to get into what you're working on now. Is there anybody from the team that you want to bring up, or is it just we're just going to be kicking it with you today?
Just me. The team is very small. It's basically just me and my co-artist. He doesn't really talk much ever. He's just behind the scenes, but I'm kind of the main artist and the front man. So yeah.
Love it. And I know we have a lot of friends in here today, especially one that I'm gonna shout out, GIF. I definitely want you to come up at some point. Because he's the reason why I was introduced to the Chungos community, just in general. So, really excited to have you guys here and to be talking about this project. So, jumping right in, I would love if you could just take me back, introduce yourself, and briefly share a little bit about your background before you got into Web3 pre Chungos.
Yeah, for sure. So like I've always been an artist my whole life. My dad's actually an artist. So like ever since I was a little kid, I'd be sitting by his desk just watching him work. Always was super interested in the arts. Went to an arts high school. Just delve into everything I could that way. I started working on like anything I could get my hands on, really, just video editing. A lot of like local Toronto rap artists, I would do like music videos for them. Whether it be like posters as well, anything that I could like, get my hands on and help other people, I would do. I got into Web3. I discovered what NFTs were probably in like 2020. on Rarible, and I had no idea what I was looking at. And since then, I just like really sunk my teeth into the space, just kind of watched and observed, did a little trading here and there, but I always wanted to launch my own collection, but do it the right way, which is why I just kind of sat back and watched the space for a long time. And then I was working on Chungos just behind the scenes in my free time, and I think there hit a point where I thought it was finally ready. We started, working on some promotional materials. We tried doing it a different way than normal that we saw a lot of projects doing. We would make, animations. We actually didn't really even post a PFP until like mint day, but people saw the characters and like, the whole lore behind what we were building. And that got everyone really hyped up. And yeah, since then we've just been grinding and having a lot of fun. Chungos is really just mostly an art-based project. Uh, we don't want to promise anything crazy because you don't want to make promises that you can't fulfill. But we've done a lot of stuff along the way that we didn't expect, and it's still really early. We're coming up on just a year in the space now. I believe on January 29th, that'll be the anniversary. So, we're really excited to have this new collection launching soon, right near the anniversary, and I think it's going to pump some new life into Chungos and bring a lot of new collectors, especially considering the artists that we're collabing with. Um, Again, we haven't announced that yet. We're keeping it, uh, hidden for now. But I think I told you when we talked privately, um, and yeah, really excited.
Yeah, I can't wait for this announcement. And that's it's really cool to hear more about your background and with video and your father being an artist. I love that. And I remember when Chungos launched was a pretty special time as it definitely took our community by storm. And by community, I mean the GM Web3 fam that are in here today. I know Gifta was obsessed. There was an activation with you guys during ETH Denver last year, and I later gave in and was like, okay, I'm into it. I'm now the proud owner of a drilling chungo. And here we are. So, given your launch in a bear market, you managed to garner amazing popularity and community. So, I would love for you to dig in a little bit more and um, with. In terms of the genesis of chungos, you shared a little bit about it, but I'd really like to hear more of the genesis of Chungos, and then just like the full TLDR on, what the fuck is a Chungo?
For sure, for sure. So like yeah, we definitely minted during like a tough time in the space. There wasn't a lot of fun. There was a lot of FUD everywhere. And I really just wanted to launch something that was fun, brought community back together, and just like, a true degen kind of vibe. And I think we successfully did that. It exceeded our expectations for sure. But I think with the name and the bold art, it really just all came together. And yeah, like we didn't want to be too serious. We're just having fun, and I think it resonated with everybody. So we just really took a different approach at the time, and I think it paid off. So yeah.
And where did the art come from? You said you were working on this on the side. Where did the concept come from?
So like yeah, I think it was like probably like a year before we launched. I was just kind of like playing around, just like doodling little characters, and then I kind of got this like body shape that I really liked. Definitely inspired by Keith Haring. It's definitely a little you know reminiscent of his art. Um, but yeah, like it wasn't something I just like did really fast. I definitely took time, you know, making sure it was something that I liked and enjoyed. So yeah, like probably over a year of just like on and off, drawing traits, you know, getting the shapes right, making sure everything was consistent. I was working a real job at the time. I wasn't actually like making money off Web3. So I didn't have the time to just like constantly be making chungos. But over time we got all the traits together, and then we just started pumping out, like I said before, animated content, certain images with the characters, just to like kind of build IP, build the vibe.
Well, now look at your life. Now it's all chungos. So,
It's all chungos. Yeah, it's
if
taken over
you
my
dream
life.
it,
Yeah,
if you dream it, you can be it. So I love this.
exactly.
And I also feel like I feel seen and also slightly attacked because the body type just feels very like your average American. Like just the body shape, the head shape. I'm like, oh, I feel attacked.
It kind of looks like
But
me a little bit. It was definitely my own body inspired it.
I feel like it looks a little bit like everybody, and that's scary, but also cool. Something specific that stood out to me too is the color palette. I really like that there's these bright colors, that it's not just like this primary color vibe. Like everybody, it's always coming out like, and if you guys know me personally and have followed me or heard me monologue, primary colors is not my vibe, totally, but I love when the color can be mixed and matched in this really unique way. I think it's really beautiful. So I do like the colors and I like the variety. I love all of the traits too of the chungos, like just some folks that are in the space right now, like the guy down there with the one, well, a person, I don't know if it's guy or gal, but with like the eye in the center, like it's really cool, really unique. And I think it coming at the time that it did, it definitely brought back those degen vibes and that general degen energy. So, and I think like that, the artwork has a lot to, add to that basically. So, I did want to talk a little bit about the Chungos being this generative PFP project. And, when this came out, I remember, I feel like I can be corrected on this, but it seemed like there was a lot of altcoins happening and that was starting to like, be on the rise. And art is always in and out, right? And these PFP projects are always in and out, but this found its way into this generative PFP sort of lane. And I wonder how you've found the trajectory of and also the current state of the space in relationship to the generative PFP audience. Like, what do you feel like the vibe is?
Like right now or back then?
Both.
Okay, yeah. So like, when we launched, it was like right before the altcoin craze in the summer, um, and with NFTs at the time, there wasn't much going on. Not a lot of mints were popping off, and if any did pop off, they didn't have longevity. They'd probably be popular for like a week and then completely crash. So I think we just focused on like community that wasn't there at the time. And this whole summer's been really weird. It's been a real like roller coaster for NFTs and generative stuff. You see a lot of people just like chasing the big ups. Like we saw what happened with the Simpson punks recently. Uh, you know, so it's hard to like analyze for me like what's going on. There's a lot of AI stuff like we just saw with Nakamigos. It's not my cup of tea, but I think I just stick to my guns and what I want to create and try not to like look at that stuff too much. But yeah, I think like it's interesting like what's going on right now. It's really, I'm still kind of trying to like understand this new wave and what people want and feel. But I feel like what we're doing this new collection will bring back that vibe like we did before. It's really interesting looking stuff. I haven't seen it done before for PFPs. But yeah, I try not to analyze like the market too much with generative stuff, and just stick to what feels right for us.
That's a good answer. Not that I'm judging your answers, but I was just pontificating while I was trying to unmute about this, just this idea of, PFP craze and how, all often, and I'm sure we'd all in this space do if we dare say anything out loud, are confronted with, NFTs are dead or Web3 is blah or whatever. But somehow, and I know she's not in the room right now, but me and Sarah Script, we're always just like, we have this one specific PFP project that we love so much. And her and I will just scroll through all, all of the different PFPs and just dream about owning them. And I think it's this collector mentality and this love of art mentality that I don't think will ever be dead. I think it's a specific, it's definitely niche for sure. Because it's not like there's so many of us that have adopted this, but the ones who have, I feel that weren't just in it for, the pump and dumps and for just, the rise of fame of certain projects or just being in Web3 as a trend. I think there is a really good base of folks that, will scroll through these generative collections and pick out their favorites or, just be fans of it and be part of the community, whether or not they like have a bunch of like, chungo bags or if they just have one or none, right? Like they're just following along in the community. So I really do appreciate that about a lot of these generative movements, if you will, and have even like over the course of time gained a lot of respect for the communities that are sticking around, and still engaging. So I do have a very serious question specific to the chungos. I want to know, why are some of them drooling?
I mean, chungos are like the idea in my head of chungos is that they're not very smart. They fumble a lot. And actually, if you watch our new lore video that we posted yesterday, I don't think I pinned it up top yet. But yeah, they're very like stupid and clumsy guys. And I think the drooling is just it makes sense for them. You know?
Okay, just checking. I was like, maybe
Yeah.
they drool in their sleep or like what's up with that. But again, feel very attacked on that one too. But
Small brain,
I did what's that?
you know?
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, they're small brained. Chungos are small brained.
Well, I also want to know another interesting sort of phenomenon I saw come out of the Chungos and like the Chungo call. You guys all scream. If you do, you want to go ahead and give us an example of what that sounds like?
Oh, it's been a while since I've done it, but shout out to one of our holders, Puel. Made like at first it was chungo, chungo, chungo. Yeah, not tarnishing his name, but chungo. Do it as well as he does, but yeah, shout out Puel. He started a whole new way with the chungo.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Thank you for gracing us with the Chungo call. I love that. So this actually brings me, back to the Chungo community. Can you talk to me a little bit about the importance of and the role of community in general, but then specifically just about the Chungo community?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think community is like it. It's everything. Without there's who founders have totally left. Like you look at the MFers when Sartoshi left for like a whole year. They were still just super strong together, and we're still trading the project. And if it was up to the founder, then that wouldn't have been happening. But really, the community is like the bread and butter of NFT projects. And it's the same for us, right? Like without the chungos screaming at each other, chungo all the time, I don't think we would have been able to do what we did. So yeah, like if you don't have a strong community, you don't have a project almost in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that just goes to what I said at the top of the show, which is I was introduced through our community about the Chungos community, or introduced to the Chungos community through our community. And I think that that's really how it works. But also, like, people that are showing up, right? Like, we always say that, like, oh, are you showing up? And, I was also thinking as you were talking, which is so rude, is, you never really hear too much about people that are leaving when things are really like pumping and exciting. You only hear
Mhm.
people leaving when things get quiet. But I actually think that that's such an opportunity to create when things are quiet, because I feel like you have more eyes and there's less distraction because there's not, projects dropping like every single day. Like, it's hard to keep up with that. So I guess I'm saying I like the trajectory that Chungos has had, and sort of getting to hear a little bit about what you're building now, which I'm really excited for. And in terms of your plans moving forward, wonder if you can expand a little bit on the current roadmap in relation to the future plans for Chungos and the Chungos community, and would love if you can drop any alpha related to the teaser pinned post up top, for what's in store for 2024.
For sure, yeah, and like I said in the before, we don't like to have a roadmap, so to say. We definitely have like plans, but we're not gonna put them like in writing. Um, but I can tell you what we're aiming for ultimately. I think the IP of Chungo would be a great animated TV show, and I think these little animations we're putting out lead up to this new collection. Is almost like a little micro pilot. We do have some people, who've hit us up, who are in Hollywood, who want to bring Chungos. You know, they want to make a little pilot episode and pitch it to networks. So I think it would be a perfect like TV show. We've had some ideas rolling around in our heads, like writing little like concepts for episodes. So there's definitely that. Now, I can't promise anything on that end, because obviously it's an extremely expensive and time consuming thing. But it's something I would love to see happen, and I'll do everything in my power to do it. Also with like we want to make skateboards. We already have some. We had some made actually in LA. We did a party with Stevie Williams, the founder of DGK, uh, super big skateboard brand, famous pro skater. And we had some boards there. We gave one to him. We gave one to a Chungo that was there. I believe he might actually be in the audience, Cruz. So yeah, we skated the Chungo board. We gave it away to one of the Chungos. Him. They look super clean. But creating real life products, like in a market that we're in right now, doesn't feel like the best idea to sell $100 skateboard when our floor price is like $20. Um, but besides that, long term, we're going for more of a TV show, you know, making some cool streetwear with chungos as well as skateboards. And obviously the lore that we've posted, like we said, is leading up to this new collection with a really dope artist. So short term, that's happening probably in February. As soon as we're done the lore animations, it will hint at exactly what the art's gonna look like. We'll drop a date, so stay tuned for that. Put your notifications on, and yeah, we're really excited for the the next month or two.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I do want to switch gears for a moment and just talk about you as a founder in Web3. And I wonder if you might share some of the challenges, um, that you would say those who choose to embark on NFT collections will face in Web3, whether they are veterans or people that are just entering the space as founders themselves.
Yeah, so be prepared for FUD. Be prepared to not be able to make everyone happy. Because at the end of the day, this, it's going to be hard to please everyone, right? So, and I think if you're a founder, it's really important to be transparent with And you're gonna make mistakes, right? But and do your best to remedy those mistakes. Like we tried doing another collection in the summer. It was on an open edition meta, and we retracted it. We refunded the people who minted, and we kept moving forward, and we pivoted. So I think, yeah, pivot if you're a founder. Listen to your community, but not too much in a way. Don't let uh, holders dictate exactly what you want founder, then go for it. There's definitely been times when I should have done something in the past and people were saying not to do it. So listen to your gut. Obviously take criticism, and with a grain of salt though. And be ready to work 24 hours, always available. I try to answer everyone's questions in the Discord or DMs. So yeah, be really available, be transparent, and be prepared to make mistakes and fix those mistakes.
That's really great advice. And I think maybe what people don't realize when they're getting into these projects as founders, right? Like if you decide to put a project out, I guess you are a founder, whether it's PFP or a large collection of art. You're the front facing person of that. And you become customer service if you don't have a team. And I think a lot of times people are not prepared for that. And it wreaks havoc on your mental health and on your sleep schedule and all these things. But I think that that's really sound advice is, listening to the community, but really serving your ideas and your thoughts first, and then taking what they're giving you and incorporating it if it speaks to you. And I think I wish most founders would be like that, and also be like more approachable. I mean, I don't know what your feeling on this is, but I don't like anonymous energy. I It's just weird. And not in like a judgmental way. I just feel like in a place where I think we value transparency, and a lot of people value autonomy because of cryptocurrency and the blockchain. There's been a lot of scamming and less than desirable things happening to folks. So I'm not really into the smoke and mirrors and uh secrecy with this stuff. Like, it actually doesn't excite me. It frustrates me, and I wonder what your take on it is, being as you're very public, besides just going by chief.
Yeah, exactly. Like the trend is like something that's extremely lacking in this space. Line between like three and just not being open at all. I think there's a positive aspect of mystery where it's kind of like you can hype stuff that way. But also, if people are asking you like serious questions, don't ignore it, right? Right? Like, open conversation. You know, I answer almost every DM I get or question in the Discord, as much as I can. I'm extremely available to anyone who wants to talk to me. Um, yeah, I think a lot of founders are lacking that, or just projects in general. Um, it kind of leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth because they hype this mint, and then the founder runs away with a couple hundred grand or whatever it may be, and never talk to the community again. So like, it's a lot of pressure. I get people can like maybe fold under the pressure and then run away, but it's really important to just like push through that and be available and be honest.
Yeah, I again, like, I'm just echoing that. I couldn't agree more. I think that it's hard for people to see that. I think when they first come up with an idea and want to put out a collection, I think that it's easier to do it if you're anonymous, right? Because then you can fuck up, and then people aren't calling you out personally. You can just kind of like shut it down, even if you want to just run away. Not advocating that. That is not financial advice or moral advice whatsoever. And I do have a few more questions for you, but I'm just trying to bring up Gift Dead because I wanted to just have him weigh in. So I'm sending you an invite GIF. I don't know if you can hear me, but I sent you a quick text because I know he has some lovely things to say about the Chungo community and would love to hear those things. But so being here at NiftyKit and being in a space, I think about 3 years, I can say for myself, things move at a lightning speed, and just seeing what NiftyKit has done in this short amount of time blows my mind, as well as the creators who are moving to keep up with all these advancements that have supported us artists here, and then the access that we have to put out our art to audiences globally has just been phenomenal. And that's ultimately what excites me as an artist, is the speed and the access to resources. And as a founder, I wanted to ask you what excites you the most about the future of NFTs and the creator community in Web3.
I think, people, especially outside of it, don't understand like what it can actually do for artists, and investors as well. I You can make a lot of friends in this space, and you can change your life in this space. And I think outside in Web 2, people don't really realize that. There's a lot of artists that I know that are like totally anti NFTs, because it's bad for the environment, negative, or whatever it may be to them. Um, so yeah, I think like it's still like things that can happen, and the changes are crazy. Like the metas are all changing. Every other month. I think it's so early. It's such a space to be involved in, and people don't realize. Don't know if I answered your question there. I kind of just real like.
No, no, you did. I think what I hear everybody saying right now, besides, we're still early, is that we're really building this for ourselves, and we're building, whether we're, creatives, whether we're artists, whether we're devs, or, we're building in a direction that is self-authored. And I think that that's the most important piece of this. Um, and I just wanted to welcome Gifted to the stage, and also Dong Lee to the stage. And I would love to start with you, Gif. Chungos and, Jam Web 3 and just a love story, I guess. This is how it happened. Because I'm actually kind of curious, because it feels like it was so long ago now. I don't even know where you heard about Chungos.
Well, hello, Jess. Thanks for having me. What's up, Chief?
Yeah.
Happy to be here with you both on the eve of the 1 year anniversary of Chungos, which of course, as we all know in crypto years, is about 7 or 8. Actually, to your point, Jess, it does feel like it's been a
It's
lot
like dog
longer.
years.
And the other thing, besides the upcoming 1 year anniversary of Chungo's minting, the 1 year mintiversary, we're also getting very close to our 1 year anniversary, Chief. Since we first met you in that sacred IHOB out around ETH Denver, and then proceeded to throw the first ever IRL Chungos party, which was an absolute rager at the Marijuana Mansion, a fine
So much
establishment out
fun.
there. If you haven't been there, yes, it was great times. And yeah, I mean, like Chief was talking about, it was the vibes that brought me in, because at that time there was a lack of vibes, and the Chungos delivered the vibes. And yes, vibes are hard to keep sometimes, especially in certain markets. But I think, first of all, it's important for me to say that besides being an early adopter and believer in this project, I'm still holding 9 rare chungos, including my beloved skull mask. And yeah, and I just think that it's an incredibly difficult thing to do as a multiple time founder myself, who's been in the space for about 3 years trying to build and community build and create. It's extremely difficult, and I just think that Chief Chungo and the Chungos deserve a lot of credit for continuing to stick to their guns and focus on their strengths and do what they do. And I do think that the art is cool and special, and I hope that it keeps going somewhere. And I think it's awesome that we were able to Chungo pill you, Jess, and now you're a Chungo, and that's fucking lit.
Did you see I even got some merch. I just posted my hat today. I'll pin it up top.
Oh,
The
One of
dev
these days, Jess, you're gonna do a Chungo call. We're gonna get you to do it.
Well, what do you mean one of these days? You want me to do it right now?
Yeah, I mean,
All
do it.
yeah.
right. Okay. Here we go. Chungo!
That was pretty good for a first time, I have to say. Y'all, give her some love for that.
It hits
You know
different
what?
when there's like 100 people doing it at the same time, though. I gotta say, when there's like a group of people yelling it, it just it warms the
Everybody
soul.
down there was yelling it at the same exact time with you, Jess. We just couldn't hear them.
Good. I'm glad. And I'm also like, I was even more excited to do that for you guys right now because my partner is in therapy in another room in our place. So I want to know how that hit. So yeah, I get to hear about that later. So that'll be fun.
And you
Um
got your own therapy because giving out a loud Chungo yell is indeed deeply therapeutic.
it is, it's very primal. So I understand why you guys were screaming it so much now. It felt really good. And you know, you said something too, Gif, uh, and I don't know exactly what it was, but it was something that kind of shared the sentiment of with this coming out during a time when vibes weren't really high, people were kind of like down, and this project dropped. It did bring back that Degen energy that we were talking about earlier. And I remember like when you brought this project up, I was like, yeah, I think they're cool. They look cool, but I was like, I'm not feeling the space right now. Even though like I'm showing up every day, I was like, I'm just not feeling this. I'm not feeling it. But then it was like being surrounded by this community that was getting like really like powered up and really amped up. I think that did shift my vibe. And that just shows you the power of community and the power that art has to bring people like out of a funk, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and the power of fun. And I think it's also worth mentioning that we're talking about vibes. But there's more to it than just the vibes. The vibes are immaculate, but the art actually does have something special to it. And y'all have talked a little bit about it. But there's something remarkably likable and memeable, and yet like integrous. There's something to it. It's not just trash, like trashy hand drawn nonsense. There's obviously a lot of effort that went into thinking through it. And as simple as they may seem, I think that there's actually some artistic merit and value here. And as Chief was saying, he is indeed a lifelong artist, and the fact that this is an art, also an artist driven project, and the artist is fully committed to it, is also something that has made me stand by it and still believe in it.
Yes, the
Well, thanks
artist
for the
is
kind words.
present. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, Gif. Yeah, thanks, man. That's what I just want to say. Thanks. Thanks for the flowers.
So I just pinned up here. This is just the beginning. Is that what you just announced, right? From one
Yeah,
day ago.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks. Tell us about this.
So there is this story that we have cooking up. Hopefully, we can post the next part next week. And like I said before, once the animation is done, it will show off where we're headed and what the next collection will look like. And I'm really excited for the next parts to come out. It's real juicy, real juicy.
I love this.
Are
This is
are you
really cool.
able, selfishly, for a longtime collector and hodler, a Chungo parent, selfishly, I want to know, how do holders factor into whatever this next phase is?
That's perfect because that was going to be my next question was utility.
Yeah, so all the OG holders will be able to mint 1 to 1 for the chungos. So if you have 100 chungos, you can mint this new collection for free, of course. So you get 100 free of the new collection. And for the public mint, will also be super affordable. So I think it's going to bring in a new chunk of people, especially like I said, considering who the artist is, and yeah, so free chungos if you have the OG collection. You will be able to mint for free as many chungos as you hold.
I just threw up 9 hearts, one for each of my little chungos.
Let's go.
So you have rare chungos, GIF, right?
Yes,
I don't
I
even
think
search
I
the
think at
rarities
one
anymore.
I think at one point the biggest my chungo bag got was around 30. I was probably in the 25 to 30 range, and I'm now I got it down to my 9 favorite, and most of them are pretty rare.
Oh, you unmuted, Chief. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh no, sorry. I think I was. Oh, I didn't realize I muted myself. You should
They're
post one of
locked
those.
away and they're locked away in cold storage. But yes, I can drop one. I'll drop a couple of my favorites in the chat over here.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want your chungos getting robbed. I mean, come on now. Like, let's prevent that. So I do want to talk a little bit more about, well, I don't know how much you can share about what's going to be happening in the next few months, but is there any alpha that you can expand on that you've shared today?
See, I don't like to say things too early. I mean, even though it's probably going to be coming out within the next month or two. Um, but it will be animated. Um, it will be 3D, but not your typical 3D. I'll say that. So definitely, it's a unique style. Um, trying to think what else I can say without revealing too much. Um, I gotta say, just like stay tuned for our animations because that will show off what's coming. I don't want to say too much right now. I like to keep it under wraps until it's like, ready to blast off.
Understood. What I say, under promise and over deliver. So
Exactly.
I totally respect that. I also want to say hey to Dong Lee. I saw you hopped up here. Head of partnerships, branding, marketing, all of it at NiftyKit. Welcome.
Thank you. Just here to support the chief. And I was also, at the Mariana mentioned last year for the Eat Denver, and I got a little taste of the community, and I was like, this is so much fun. So I had to come here and support. I'm very excited and looking forward for your next upcoming things. I will be here to support you. So very excited for, you and also for your community and want to celebrate it as a whole. And thank you, Jessica, for introducing me.
Amazing. Yeah, that marijuana mansion party was I mean the whole weekend was pretty lit. No pun intended. Um but we definitely had fun and we're, in good company with communities like Chungos. So I do want to wrap up soon, but it has been a pleasure to be in conversation with you and with GIF, and I'm really impressed by how hard founders like yourself have been working in this bear market and also reminding folks that this is about art. It's about being part of a revolution and it's on the cutting edge, using these tools to experiment, have fun. And at the end of the day, so it's been awesome to learn more about Chungos and your thoughts as a founder. And I wonder if you might share one last thought or some advice for fellow founders, artists, creators in the space right now that are experimenting and building in any medium in Web3. Any words of wisdom that you would give a founder or a fellow creator?
I think I have to say, don't let the negativity get to you, and don't give up. You know, there's always going to be, if number go down, there will be negativity, right? But that's just how markets work. You know, these things happen. Keep building, keep pushing through. You know, and like I said in the past, learn from your mistakes, fix those mistakes, keep pushing forward. Don't fold under the pressure, and just do your best. Ask people who've been in the space. You know, make a network for yourself. You know, that'll be really important, just to like have advice. Uh, Talk to other projects. Not necessarily, ask them to do collaborations, but just ask them for advice. You know, make friends. And I think basically what I'm trying to say is don't fold under the hate. Try to stay positive and keep building.
I love that. That's very good advice. And I'd like to kick that question over to you, Gift, too, because you're a founder as well. And I talked to you a while back in a more professional capacity where I was asking you your advice as a founder and a creator. But what would be your advice today for people that are building in any medium in Web3? Any words of wisdom?
Oh man, there's so many different places that you could go with that just because there's so many different types of builders and founders, etc. First of all, I wanted
What's
to
sticking in your
also
craw today?
I wanted to first of all, what's grinding my gears, Jess, is how you just completely disrespected the Chungos and how professional they are. This is an absolutely professional environment right here. I mean, you've got the chief Chungo.
No, it is
I'm pretty
professional.
sure. I'm pretty
What
sure
I was
that's
saying is that I
the
talk to these admins all the
CCO, the
time.
CCO of Chungos, Chief Chungo Officer, is here, and yet you're doubting the professional nature of this conversation. Give yourself more credit. Give us all more credit, but especially put some respect on the Chungo's name. No,
They have
I'm
my
obviously
ultimate
kidding.
respect.
Yes, I'm obviously kidding. That bought me some time to think. So
I
one of
can
the
see that.
things one of the things that I think, if you're looking to start a project, um, and that could be NFTs, it could be a token, a coin, or some kind of new DApp. One of the things that is remarkably important is hitting on timing and certain like narratives and understanding how partnerships uh, and like building communities, inroads to other communities early, is like so key and fundamental to your success. And this looks like a lot of different things, but don't, like, when I first started with DBs in like beginning of 2021, we had no idea what we were doing, and we thought, well, if we just create awesome artwork with a cool artist and focus on building community, well, that's all we have to do. And that's absolutely not the case. We've obviously learned so much. I've learned so much since then, and there's the whole financial aspects of it, understanding where's the liquidity going to be coming into it, who are going to be the trusted backers in the space that are going to buy you a lot more credibility, the community elements, what other communities are going to relate or like what you're doing, that you can build partnerships with other platforms and protocols that can offer you a leg up, give you promotion, distribution, etc. So just like really understanding that it's not just about navel gazing and thinking like, hey, I've got some cool artwork, I think it's great. If you really want it to go far and be super successful, you have to look outward. You have to build the network and the communities and have those in place ahead of time so that the launch goes well. Because unfortunately, it's fucking brutal. And if the launch doesn't go really, really well, you're basically DOA, or you're not completely dead, but it makes it a million fucking times harder to turn it into something that people care about if your launch doesn't make a huge fucking splash. So that's what I'd say, is just look outward, understand the value of the network, the community elements, and also the what does it mean to be building on a financial stack.
I like that timing and narrative. I think those are things that we don't always hear talked about. I mean, maybe the timing part, but narrative, not so much. I think it's important to like see
One
what's going on, right?
And one way that Chief Chungo intuitively did this was the vibe, like realizing that there was a lull in the vibes and that the fun degen nature had been sucked out of the room, And that was part of his good timing, is he timed bringing that back in very well. So that's like an example that's relevant here. But there's a million different ways that you can find different nascent and emerging narratives. Like right now, Say and Base, I think, are two big opportunities that we're looking at to build out the Web3 network in our community. But yeah, just trying to think, where's the puck going, not where it is now, not where's the liquidity and hype right now. Absolutely, maybe somewhere totally different 3 to 6 months from now.
Great advice. Yeah, could not have better myself.
Love it. Thanks, Giff. And for people that want more of Giff's insights, follow him and follow Web3 so you can listen to the morning shows Monday through Thursday. Just a nice little plug for you there, Giff. And we are going to wrap up soon, but I want to give the floor to you, Chief, and share any immediate calls to action or any last minute alpha that we can look forward to or should look out for.
Well, first off, pay the chungo. Secondly, if you do want to chungos coming out, cop some chungos right now. Now is the best time. You'll be able to mint for free, and besides that, I'd say just stay tuned for our animations, and you'll see what's coming. I wish I could say more. I think maybe in the next coming weeks, perhaps I will start announcing who we're working with. But I don't want to give away too much. I know you guys know. I think just you and Dong Lee, but yeah, it's really exciting time. We're cooking in the background, and you'll start to smell the food, if that's a thing that people say.
No, I love that. Well, they're going to say it now. Well, we cannot wait for this announcement. Definitely follow follow Chief Chungo. We're going to wrap up. So please check out the pinned tweets up top, or they're not tweets, they're pinned posts. So check those out and learn more about the chungos. Definitely cop some chungos. There's some really cute ones right now on the floor. I would love to have you back again once we find out the cool mystery things that you're cooking up, so we can actually talk about the entrees. And yeah, it's been really great to have you here and learn, what you've built and what you're continuing to build. And so follow Chungos, follow Chief Chungo, follow NiftyKit as always. Stay up to date on all the alpha. So with that, I just want to thank you for your time and just really, really excited for what's coming next. And thank everybody who joined today, and thanks NiftyKit for hosting. And again, just please follow everybody here on the stage. And if you're a creator, please be in touch. Check out the pinned tweets above to learn more about us and reach out so we can help you launch your next NFT project. We have next week's space pinned up top. We are going to be talking to getreach.xyz. So you're going to want to RSVP to that one. And once again, we host spaces every week. So follow NiftyKit and put us on notifications so you don't miss out. And with that, I'm going to play us out. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks, Chief Chungo. Thanks, Gift, for joining us. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.